Hello everyone, this is Sima and welcome to season 3 of KORK Horror Talks. And today we are with Double Danger, aka Javier and Douglas. Welcome guys, I'm so excited to meeting you because I'm also sound designer and a musician and a composer and a horror fan. And I really liked Evil Dead so much, Evil Dead Burn. I'm really excited to meeting you here, so thank you for coming.
Yeah,
Thank you.
our pleasure. Yeah, we must have a lot in common.
Yeah, I think so. And I have lots of questions for you because when I watch the movie, I'm really fascinated by the musics and they really surround me, and I couldn't leave the theater in the credits because the music is so good. And we are all like, and I watched the film in a full theater, and the all people like, oh my god, music is so great. What are we listening to right now? And they really got so scared by the scenes and the CGI, but the music really makes the atmosphere. So congratulations for that. It's really exciting to see in a good theater, and I really recommend that all the audiences to see in a good theater, because the sound, the music, the CGI is really everything is incredible. So I have a little questions for you for starting. We know you guys as Double Danger, and I think it's such a memorable name, and I really liked your guys' name. How did the two of you first meet, and at what point did you realize that you worked better together than apart?
Well, we met through our respective bands. You were playing in a electro rock band, and I was playing in an electro rock band as well. And we shared a couple of gigs together, and so we knew each other from the electro rock scene. And then shortly after, I was working on a short film called I Don't Know, and I was struggling to find a track for the ending. And so I asked Xavier, do you want to remix a track I composed for the introduction of the film and make it as a ending credit song? And so we started working together, and he remixed this song. And shortly after, we're like, okay, this collaboration is interesting. And shortly after that came the Infested project from the director Sebastian Vanicek. And I enjoyed so much working with a partner for the composition. It was like, do you want to get on this crazy journey with me? And we met Sebastian together, and we got along so well, all three of us, and that's how we started Double Danger.
Yes, I believe that it's a really crazy journey because I saw the movie and the scenes are really gore and extreme. So I couldn't imagine that I'm composing something to scenes like that. And I think you guys been working a lot together because the music's I hear from your music that and I think every long-term creative partnership develops its own rhythm. When you're working on a score together, how do ideas evolve between the two of you, and do you each have distinct roles, or is the process much more fluid than the people might expect?
Well, I mean, Xavier used to work with, before making soundtracks, used to work with several artists, like making like production for several artists, like rock artists, even in the hip hop scene. So he has a sense of structure of the song, and that's quite modern in the horror genre. And whether I'm more like throwing ideas on the computer, like a complete chaotic project, and then Xavier is starting to structurize, analyze, conceptualize the whole thing. So it's a really back and forth way of working.
But we both work in the same studio. We don't work apart, and we switch in front of the computer when we do stuff on it.
That's a hard journey.
Yeah, but we're mostly composing together because we really like to begin a scene, all two of us, two
Yeah.
brains working together, and just have a dialogue, like what emotion brings the scene, or which color should we give it, and which texture, and it's so much fun, and it's you're working much faster, like having this dialogue, because if you're alone, you can spend like 5 days, just like having a lot of certitudes or about how the scene should sound like, and yeah, being two composers in the same room is really much faster.
Yeah, one is listening and the other one is touching stuff, but
Yeah.
the other one doesn't really know what the other do, so it's really great just to listen and watch and sing stuff.
I think it's really a good opportunity because, like you said, you have two brains to imagine and two brains to make new ideas. But as a musician, sometimes I solve that in my composer friends, and when I create something, sometimes it's so hard to I believe in that music so much, I believe in that sound so much, and my partner came and said, I didn't like this idea, and it's really hard to, okay, if we can fix that, we can revise that, but I think it's not the best feeling in the world. But you guys really, make it in a good way, I think, being two composers in the same movie and in the same group. I think it's really fascinating because it's a really hard work for a musician, I think.
I think we have the same taste. So when one of us doesn't like the idea, we know maybe it's not a good idea. We don't take it for ourselves. So that's how it works also.
Yeah, you don't in this composer universe. You don't have. You can't have too much ego. You have to make yourself like
take the best idea.
Yes, and thinking about only the project and what's good for the project. Yes, I think it's the most important thing, and you have to step aside, step your ego aside, to just if the idea doesn't work, you just have to move on and try some other stuff, and always listening your partner and what you have to say first, and then make a decision.
Yeah, when you start to think like that, the music start to being better because you listen to your partner. Okay, he's saying something right now, and that will be better if we do that, and you didn't think with ego, and the music is better, I think, in the end. So becoming to Evil Dead, I've seen every Evil Dead movie on earth, but Evil Dead Burn was the first one where I walked away thinking that about the score long after when I left the salon, and it doesn't just support the horror, it feels woven into the film's identity and elevates so many key scenes, I think. So what was that level of musical presence, that something you consequently wanted to bring to this chapter of the franchise?
Well, I mean, we wanted to bring life into this whole movie. Like 80% of the movie, for example, takes place in this house, this family house, and we almost wanted to treat the house as a character, like almost like a living thing surrounding the characters. And we had a lot of discussions with Seb about the characters' grief, the dynamics between them, and yeah, we wanted to first have a really precise texture for the setting, which is the house. So we use double basses for the house, and with this cracking texture, dirty sound, and so yeah, we thought the double bass for the house, and the house is full of backstories with the grandfather and all his heritage. So we worked a lot with voices as well, and we wanted to have sometimes really quiet voices surrounding the characters, and always have a presence around them throughout the movie. And so we really like to bring ourselves into the image in a way. That sounds basic, but we like to be a part of the setting and create an immersive soundtrack.
And Sebastian give us a lot of space for that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why also we have lots of music in some parts with lots of volume.
Yeah, we have it gives us such a huge playground and in so much space and trust as well, because we had such an incredible freedom to be as radical as possible in the textures and everything. So it was a real pleasure working on that movie.
I really get what you said when you guys said it's a playground, because I really heard that music is like some kind of sound design in that, or I hear in your music that the Foley cracks in the gore scenes, they're in the music too, and it's really exciting to hear something like that, because I really didn't hear something like that before in horror cinema, and it really fascinates me, because I like to think about the Foleys in the gore scenes, the crackles, the blood sounds and something like that. And when I heard them in your music, it's really an amazing feeling for me, and it's really feels like a playground too, like you guys said.
Yeah, that's such a great compliment, because that's we wanted to have fun anyway, and be as radical as possible in our musical proposition. And because the Evil Dead franchise have such a huge heritage. And when for example, when you see the first Evil Dead movie, Joe Duca started with almost no money, a really small budget, so he had to get creative with the few tools he had, and we wanted to, in a way, have a sort of homage to that way of working, like mixing textures and just get creative, not taking a huge orchestra and spending all our money into a recording session and have really good takes. And we wanted to have a kind of a DIY feeling to it as well, and take a beautiful instrument and just crush them with distortion or stuff like that. So it's a playground working like that. It's and it's so much fun. You feel like a kid again, in a way.
Yes. I can imagine that. And I agree that you said the orchestral scores, okay, they are really fascinating, and when you listen to them you feel magical, or there's amazing things happening here, like that. But they are walking with movie, but they didn't have, they didn't give a road to the audience, but that what could be happen in the next scene. But your music, I really feel that your music gives a road and gives a map to the audiences for watching Evil Dead. So I think it's really different than the other scores I've been listening past years. So congratulations again. And I think modern horror audiences have become incredibly difficult to scare. Do you think today's horror music needs to surprise the audience, or simply make them feel just unsafe?
I mean, of course, because Sebastian wanted to make the most nastiest film with Evil Dead Burn. He wanted to like creating a roller coaster for the audience, and we had to follow him on this artistic direction, and that's why we wanted to give the experience the most immersive as it can be, you know. And yeah, we wanted as well to surprise the audience with the textures we used. We come from electro rock punk scene and wanted to give this like spontaneous way of throwing sounds, like almost in a radical punk way. We wanted the audience to feel that when they see the movie, like the radical experience with the distortion and everything.
Screams.
It screams as well, because we worked with a metal singer who made such aggressive scream in the middle of the this huge choir. So yeah, we wanted to surprise the audience with stuff like that, you know, breaking the traditional way of recording instruments or a choir, and with an element that's going to twist and destroy the beauty of a choir, of maybe of a string ensemble, stuff like that, you know. That's the way we used to produce this soundtrack.
I'm a fan of this kind of producing, because I think it's much creative and much imaginative than the classical producing or classical scoring, classical orchestration, etc. So this music you guys create is really puts the audition into the movie. You know, they starts to feel what the characters living in there. So I really want to know that, was there a cue in Evil Dead Burn where you intentionally wanted the score to feel, possessed rather than composed?
Maybe the scene with Joseph smashing Tia's head. That's that was.
It was really made with the images.
Yeah, we asked a couple of singers to come to the studio and watch the scene and instantly react with the scene, and it was such an experimental track to do, because it's like all about dissonance and voices crossing each other and not being in tune, and it was almost like it's not mathematical way of working on this specific song. It has a lot to do with your pure feeling, how you react to the scene and reacting to each frame, and that one was really complicated. That a really different way of working a scene. It was truly about what you feel like in the moment, and how you interact with the images, and how your voice changing while you're watching the scene. And it was really an interesting way of creating this claustrophobic and oppressive kind of music.
This is a hard scene too, by the way. For watch, for the shoot, for compose, for sound design, for color. It's really a hard scene.
And this specific scene is a really human violence, because you have a lot of scene when the Deadites, they're possessed and they're here to hurt everyone. But this particular scene, Joseph is like he has to end this relationship in the most brutal way and almost become not a human anymore. It's really like cold. It's such a cold and dark and twisted feeling, and he, in this scene he almost loses all his humanity, and that
was the idea for the singers.
Humanity. Right. Okay, he didn't came in the movie, but the audience feel that okay, now he's a demonite too. Feeling like that. I understand what you said, and the music really gives that, and I think the audience starts to roll their eyes in that scene, but music teases that, and you want to look there because there's something going on, and you feel that with your ear, you feel that with your body. And I saw some audiences like, okay, there's something going on, I think I have to look at that. I separated like that in the theater.
Yeah. This one yeah, we almost got censored because of that scene, because yeah, that one the first edit was so brutal. You had like 42 hits on head. It's so
it was longer.
Yes, it was longer, and yeah, you had to shorten the scene a little bit, because otherwise we had a huge censorship, and
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that could be in the movie. Okay, so if you could remove one element from Evil Dead Burn and still keep the film terrifying, which one could you sacrifice?
Like
an instrument?
An instrument or a track, or not a track because you had to do, okay, but from an instrument.
Wow, it would be
What
so
do you think
difficult.
that what one instrument that you use for, okay, when we play that, when we write something with that instrument, the demons become alive in the audience?
I don't know.
Maybe the piano.
Maybe the piano. Yeah,
Because it's just the law, and not really the.
Yeah, it's not a part of the overall texture of the soundtrack, but maybe the piano, because we use the piano every time in the movie. Every time they talk about the grandfather, and every time you see the book, there's like a little piano melody that was influenced by the first Evil Dead, the introduction of Evil Dead, and yeah, we thought it was a good music Easter egg to put in a movie. But yeah, maybe if we had to get rid of some instrument, it would probably be the piano. Yeah,
because piano only gives the nostalgia and the gothic feeling to the audience, right?
Yeah, exactly. That
it doesn't make any sense to be the movie is much scarier or much demonic or much possessed. Yeah, I can understand. I think I will pass the piano too.
Yeah.
I think I will pass that too. So as someone who is a sound designer, I've learned that audience often remember a terrifying feeling without remembering the sound that creates the feeling. What's one moment in the Evil Dead Burn where you think the music manipulated the audience in a way that probably consequently realized?
I was thinking maybe with the scene in Polly's bedroom, like all the voices surrounding her, because this scene, yeah, it's a huge manipulation scene. It's really difficult, by the way, for us to compose this specific scene. It was one of the most difficult scene to compose, and it's all about like corrupted feelings about in this particular scene, Polly is really starting to be possessed, and she pretends to have her memory back in front of her daughter, and yeah, she's like manipulating her. And you have also Edgar coming from the window, and saying to Suzanne, like, I miss you so much, you have to come back. But they're all demonic, and they're all playing with her like a puppet, and we had to step a little bit um, aside, to accompany the scene, but not being too too much present,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
we had to get the right balance, to for the audience to almost forget about the soundtrack, but in a way still being there and all around the characters. So I would say this one was a specific challenge for us.
This scene is really, a powerful scene and a really romantic scene too.
Yeah.
And a really epic scene too, in a way. But I think, when her husband comes from the window and they talk and they start to kissing, it almost feels like a Cinderella movie.
Mm.
And it's an amazing thing that you manipulate the audience with the music, I think, because it's really a gore scene because they're so bloody, they're kissing, but the blood is everywhere. The old lady stands here and she's so scary, but we are seeing something so romantic there, and I almost feel happy for her.
With the kiss.
Yeah, and I mean we.
How's her husband again?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the whole. Yeah, that's a really great example of manipulating the audience because, personally, for us, we wanted to make like the most Hollywood kissing scene. Make it a beautiful Hollywood kissing scene, but in the most horrible way, in the most disturbing way, and create this contrast where like, oh, it's they're kissing, that's beautiful, but that's horrible. They're like his face is totally crushed, and you have this right balance of really horrible stuff and bizarrely romantic, and that's a great example of manipulation of the audience. I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the most powerful scenes, one of the most powerful scenes of the movie. And I have one question for you, the last one question. But before that, are you guys horror fans?
I am. Maybe I don't know.
He's more
Yeah,
than me.
yeah. I've been really big horror fan for a really really long time. So yeah, I was really happy to be a part of the Evil Dead franchise. That was like such a dream for me.
Okay, so I want you to think a little bit because that question is something that you have to think and go back to your memory. Imagine that you could compose music for only one scene in horror history, but only one, not a movie, a scene, and not to replace it but challenge it. Which scene would you choose and how would you make audiences experience fear differently?
Interesting. Because I mean, I've been traumatized with The Ring, the Japanese version of it, and yeah, that was my first trauma as a child. Is seeing The Ring in theaters. I spent weeks after that looking at my TV in my bedroom, like being scared of.
Me too. That's really my childhood trauma too. I didn't open television for weeks. I tell my mother, okay, shut it down, shut it down. Sadako came from the television. Please shut it down.
And so, yeah, I think I would love now to heal my trauma, to make a soundtrack for this specific scene, with the videotape and all the little scene that compose it, and play with the I don't know how to say it, the wobble kind of sound of the videotape, the dissonant texture of the videotape, and I think it will be so much fun to compose that. And then when I think it's Sadako, no, Sadako, yeah, maybe when she coming out of the screen, like create like a huge opening in the soundtrack and create an immersive kind of thing, and it will be really really interesting, I think, to compose for that specific scene.
A really good choice. Xavier, what about you?
His one is good. I don't know. I was thinking of that movie too. So that's funny that you said that.
We want to see a movie, Ringu, composed by Double Danger. A Ringu remake, but composed by Double Danger.
No, I don't have any idea like that now. No.
Okay.
One is the better.
We'll work on the ring together.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you guys for being part of the KORK Horror Film Festival and KORK Horror Talks. We really appreciate that your company in that program, and I'm really, really so glad to meet you as a musician, a sound designer, a horror fan, and an Evil Dead fan, and an Evil Dead Bird fan. Thank you for being a part of us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks to you. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
We had a lovely time.
For me too. See you later, everyone.
Bye.